Good afternoon. This is Ashley, Terrell, and Scotty Gwatney here with Burns Wealth Advisors for another coffee chat. How are you today, Scotty?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Today we're going to talk about retirement strategies and money moves after retirement. So first thing we're going to talk about is tax and income planning.
Right.
What are your thoughts or suggestions here?
You know, from income planning, there's a few different avenues of what we can kind of talk about. So, I mean, one of the biggest things we tell all our clients is where your money's coming from, how much you've saved for retirement, Social Security, pension. Different income streams are important, but really what we want to also consider is your vision for retirement. And the big underlying that is the expenses. How much is that going to cost? From the very basic, how much does it cost to maintain your current lifestyle? Mm-hmm. So electricity, car notes, house notes, all those bills that we may have, credit card, God forbid if we have those, let's get rid of those. Mm-hmm. But from that basic point to we want to travel, whether it's just, driving to go see grandkids or traveling in the United States or traveling around the world, different avenues. We want to see what those expenses are in retirement. Let's compare them to the income streams we have and really take a look at those assets. So really, from that perspective is really getting those ducks in a row of, okay, how much do we look to spend? And from the income side is what sources of income do we have in retirement?
So pretty much getting together an overall plan.
Yeah, doing that. And, that's kind of more the income side, putting that plan together. From the tax perspective, we want to look at how much money you have saved. Is it pre-tax? Is it after tax? If it is pre-tax, does it make sense for us to kind of, do Roth Conversions or other type of tax strategies that we can put together from that retirement date, whether that be 55, 60, 65, all the way to 72. How much time do we have to get there? What's your current tax status? What kind of tax strategies keep you within a certain palatable tax bracket? Some clients don't mind going higher just to kind of maybe get money out, just so that time when, 72 comes and Uncle Sam comes knocking and says, hey, time for you to hey, Ashley, time for you to take some of that money out that I've been helping you not work for all your life. We want to sit down and see if that strategy works. So the income side we want to look at, and that's really kind of from a tax planning perspective. That's one of the strategies we kind of want to look at with a few other things as well.
And that's one of the things we do here, tax strategy and Roth strategies and analysis.
Yep.
Right.
We'll definitely do that.
Okay, so moving on, another thing to look at is making sure that your investment allocations are matching your risk tolerance.
Yes.
Just a second ago, you mentioned multiple streams of income. So that can kind of, segue into this portion too, right?
Yeah, it can. I mean, if the risk tolerance, just to kind of go back to, I guess, the overall question is how much, the risk up until someone retires is usually you're growing, you're working, you're putting money away, and that money is going to continue to grow. As you get a little closer, you might teeter back a little bit, get a little more conservative, whether it be cash or bonds to go with your stocks. But once you get to retirement, it's really going to be two things. And back to the first part, from the income perspective, how much income do we need to maintain that lifestyle? And then that kind of caters back to, okay, well, how much risk are we willing to take? Like, we can't be really, really, really conservative and expect a 10, 15, 20% return. So we want to kind of be able to cater that risk tolerance to our client's appetite. So you may want a bigger return, but you may not want as much risk. And that's something we need to kind of sit down and fully define and say, okay, depending on this tolerance, this is something that we can attain or maybe not from your retirement lifestyle. So we want to take a look at that. Different avenues. And I mean, we have, not just stocks and bonds. There are, sometimes life insurance options that kind of can play into a factor to kind of give another source of income or another bucket per se, as well as, annuities, insurance products of that sort. Maybe they play a role as having just a better diversified overall portfolio, another stream of income, or whether that provides for long-term care, home health care, other benefits and other riders that may actually complement what you have. We want to kind of take a look at all that and at least make that suggestion. Because, as fiduciaries, we want to make sure that we talk to you about everything. And we tell all our clients that if you don't want it, you don't like it, that's fine. But we want to make sure we cover it all and tell you the pros and cons of each. So
right. And each strategy that we have has different pros and different cons. So it's really good to sit down and see exactly what your needs are in order to figure out which type of product is best for you, right? Okay. Another thing to look at is your Social Security and Medicare benefits.
Yep.
I've actually had a client recently. She worked in for the public, so she wasn't contributing to Social Security. She needed just a couple more credits to qualify for her Social Security, so she went back to work in retirement in order to get those couple credits so that she could start obtaining Social Security. So that's one of the things that we should start looking at too, right?
That's a great scenario. Some clients, I've had a few like that as well, that they worked in the public sector, went back to work for the state. They have a few, maybe, a year or two left, go back and do something they enjoy. If they want to. Of course, the Social Security will, they'll have the windfall provisions and things like that, but that's just a little extra if you're that close. Some of them, even if that's not a plan, they'll go back just as part-time for a hobby. So we want to look not only at that, in that specific scenario, we're going to get a pension. Do we want to go back to kind of get our credits to get some sort of Social Security in addition? Clients that have worked that don't have a pension, they've put into Social Security their whole life. We want to sit down and look and say, okay, with your current tax bracket, your current tax status, your current need for income, does it make sense for 62? 66 in some months, or 67 now, depending on your age, or 72, or actually wait until 70, until you're maxed out at Social Security. Right. We want to sit down and look at those three scenarios and we can run a Social Security analysis for those clients and then kind of pinpoint when it makes the most sense to turn your Social Security on.
Which scenario is best for them?
Which scenario? Look, and some of our clients are, hey, Uncle Sam's had my money for 35, 40 years, 62, that, they're going to be there the first day that they're eligible to go up there and sign up for it, 3 months before. They're going to be there at 8 a.m. that morning to do it, and that's fine. But we at least want to, talk to our clients, say, okay, well, some clients are like that. Some clients, we want to make sure that strategy fits their retirement plan.
Some of them have the availability to hold off for a couple of years and get the max out of that.
Some can. We'll look at Social Security. We're also, when 65 comes up, that's the big Medicare time. Let's look and see, what health insurance coverage you do have. Let's look at Medicare. Let's see how that works out as well. So that's something we can kind of talk about as well with clients.
Good. Thank you. And one last thing I want to touch on is to make sure that your estate planning and your wishes are in order. You should definitely come sit down with someone and have them look at what your plan or what you think that your plan may be and get that in order. And also review your beneficiaries. Make sure that that's still everything that, you want.
Yep. No, look, we've had scenarios where, whether it's updating beneficiaries because of something that happened in life, something that happened with kids or in-laws, or I've even had situations where maybe it was a very small IRA years ago, you changed jobs, left it there, forgot about it, and then since then you've remarried again. Well, I've had situations where sometimes an older IRA or an old 401k, the beneficiaries were never updated, so the ex-spouse was really happy that happened. So,
that's definitely something that you need to take a look at. I think that's all for today. Thank you, Scotty, for joining me for today's coffee chat. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely.